Hey everyone, welcome to this video and also welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be about how I escaped an abusive relationship. Now if you don't like listening about this sort of thing where people are getting abused, whether it's emotional or physical, then this video probably isn't for you. But I've decided to film it because I know for a fact that there are so many people, more than I'd even like to think, going through this, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter what age you are, there are so many people going through this right now. So I thought I'd make this video to try and help at least one person, because I did manage to escape, and looking back I'm very, very lucky. So let's start at the very beginning. Before I do start, this video is probably going to be super long, just because I'm starting from the very first time that I met this person to the end of how I left. So I apologise about that, but so it was in 2014, around April times, shall we say. We made it official 16th or 14th of April, sometime in 2014. I met this guy outside college. I actually met him through friends. So my friend was speaking to his best friend, like as we were leaving the college and they were entering the college. So I was just standing there all awkward, and so was he. A few days later, he added me on Facebook and he said, "I think you're a really beautiful girl, we should get to know each other and just see where it goes." So then I just agreed and was like, yeah, okay, let's see where it goes. I think you're quite attractive as well. This could actually turn out to be really nice. So a few days later, we met up a few times. But I actually found out that he just got into a new relationship, and I said to him there and then, I will not get to know you, I will not talk to you in a like romantic way until you get out of a relationship. I'm not telling you to leave this relationship for me. I just won't talk to you. It's just respect really for that girl. So the next day I find out he's dumped this girl just to get to know me and talk to me, which I thought was really nice, but at the same time I feel like he just left her for me. But then if you like someone else more, then I suppose you go with what you're feeling. But so a few months go by, like we make it official. I really liked him. I was falling for him so much. I generally thought that I really loved him. Back then I was a virgin. I don't know why, but guys seem to find that attractive. No idea why. If you're a guy, then let me know why that is. So I was a virgin, but we did do stuff, we just didn't have sex. That's basically it. So I don't know why he wasn't happy with that, but I kind of put everything into this because I just really liked him, and I was like, okay, let's do this. So 2 months down the line, I actually lose my virginity to this guy. It wasn't forced or anything in that way. It was just, it was my decision to wait, and then when we did it, it was still my decision. However, a few months go down by, like past that, so we just had sex, 2 months go by, and then I get a Facebook message from his best friend at the time, telling me that the girl that his best friend is seeing has just sent my boyfriend a naked selfie, basically, of her body, her face, just everything, just completely no clothes on. And the reply that she got back from my boyfriend was, "Beautiful baby, I can tell we're gonna have amazing fun sex together." I'll never forget those words because it broke me so much. I was absolutely heartbroken. I loved this guy. Like, I thought he was the one for me. I thought we were gonna have kids, get married, move in together. Like, he was my life at this point. So I was absolutely broken. It was perfect up until this point. But then I had a lot of guy friends back then. I didn't really get on with girls. I had a few, but like, I had more guy friends than I did girls. It wasn't anything like sexual with it. It was just literally, they were my friends. I got on with them more. That's just what happened. However, my boyfriend didn't like it because he was so guilty of what he did. He thought that he just turned it all round on me and said it was all my fault. I'm doing things that I shouldn't be doing. So then the next day I get a Facebook message, I think something like that. I get a message on my phone from a guy who I was so close with, literally my best friend, with screenshots from my boyfriend, threatening screenshots. Like, he was threatening to do things to his family if he carried on being my friend. Of course this person was like, I'm really sorry but I can't talk to you anymore, because his family was at risk. He didn't know that this person was or wasn't going to do it, so he was just like, the better option is for me to just not talk to you. He was really upset by it, and so was I, but of course I understood. Your family's at risk, you would just do whatever you can to protect them. I was living at my mum's at the time, but it got so bad with me and this guy that he actually turned my mum, my family, everyone against me. In the end I had no one, I had no friends. He even went as far as making me get rid of one of my Facebooks because he didn't like the amount of guys I had on there. He didn't like anyone that I had on that Facebook. So he thought if I got a new one, he can monitor who I'm talking to, he can monitor who's on there, who I'm getting requests from, just absolutely anything he wanted to see, he wanted to monitor it. So I had a Facebook number 2 of people that only he wanted, so there really wasn't a lot of people. I mean, I went from like 600 Facebook friends to about 36 because there was just no one on there that he liked. Yeah, so that, as bad as that was, I ended up moving in with him and his mum for 5 months. I was actually waiting to get into a hostel, but for the time being I stayed with him and his mum, and that's just kind of when it went even worse than it was. So back then I was a girl who was completely against smoking, drugs, just anything. I was no smoking, even like cigarettes, weed, it was just anything. I'm just so against it. But it got so bad that I actually ended up smoking weed. If you don't know what weed is, it's cannabis. I smoked cigarettes. Every single day we smoked weed together. I didn't want to at the beginning, but he kind of was like, if you love me, you'll do it. And back then I was like, okay, if I don't do it, he's gonna think I don't love him. So I just did it. I really wish that I didn't, but I did. I actually became really addicted to it. We did it every day, every time we woke up, every time we went to sleep, just every time we got the chance to smoke it, we did. We smoked more cannabis than we did normal cigarettes and fags. It was just, you know, he actually did other drugs, I did not. I just did the weed. He didn't allow me to do other drugs. They were his, they were expensive, so I wasn't allowed to do it. I was just allowed to do the weed, which is fine, but it's like, you know, you could tell who he loved more, the drugs, not me. But then his mum actually knew what he was like. He obviously, like, she's his mum, but she allowed everything that happened to happen. She could have easily stepped in to make sure that I was okay and safe and stuff. At that point, every time his mum left, he would be like, suck my, you know. I wouldn't have the choice to say no. A lot of people that I didn't have any friends to talk to. My mum was like, oh, just leave him, you don't love him, you don't know what love is, leave him. Now, it's very easy for someone on the outside to say leave him, because it is, leave her, leave him, just leave, you'll be so much happier. It's not as simple as just leaving. It's very difficult, because if you're being emotionally abused or physically abused, you don't know what they're going to do if you leave. So I just stayed there, and I was hoping and praying that I would get housed. As just every day I was just like, come on, I need a phone call, they need to tell me that I'm gonna leave. They didn't. So I just became really upset, really depressed. I had no friends, I was smoking weed every day, I was skinny, I wasn't eating, I was very underweight. I just wasn't me, if you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't as happy as I should be. I wasn't the weight I should be. I was just bone, smoking weed, getting up, going to sleep, you know. And even his mum and dad knew that, like, they met me before all of this happened, so watching me change, you know. But this person I was with was very, very violent, not so much towards me, but a lot of other people he was violent to. He'd threaten. I actually had a really close friend in college. I no longer talk to that person because he gave me his jacket in college once because I was cold. My boyfriend found out, and the next thing I know, he'd threatened this guy, so much to the point he was literally crying, and it was only because he lent me his jacket like a gentleman would do. He was frightened, and the boyfriend that I was with he was very scary when he was angry, and you wouldn't want to upset him. You just do everything that he says because you don't know what he could do. You know, it got to the point where if I didn't have sex with him, he'd punch the walls. He would get so angry, he'd throw things in the flat. He would just go absolutely insane. Now, obviously my family, they didn't know that, so they were just seeing this guy controlling me, but they didn't know that if I didn't have sex with him, that I'd get, you know, sometimes hit, I would get emotionally abused, he'd punch things. And even his mum walked in one day when he was smashing things up, and she still had a go at me and blamed me because she was like, well, just do it. You wouldn't say that to a young girl, like, it's a bit weird. It just became very, looking back, I don't know how I'm alive, to be honest. Like, he didn't physically beat me up all the time, it was just sometimes, and it was just, I don't know how it made, to be fair. But then 5 months went down the line of all that abuse, all that, if you don't have sex with me, I will kick things off, and he did. I, in the end, had to do it every single day. Now, it's okay, like, sex is fun, sex is good, but not when you're like, it's not rape, but like, you know, when someone's like, you have to do it, it's hard. But 5 months down the line, and I managed to get a phone call from a hostel, and that's how I escaped. I managed to finally get a room in this hostel, and as soon as I was there for a few months, making sure that I was safe, I left him. And it became a lot harder because the guy that I was with was like, marry me. Because I left him, he was emotionally abusing me, and he was like, marry me. And he thought that I'd be like, yeah, okay, give me the ring, like, now. No, like, that just made me want to leave him more. It turns out when I did dump him, he already had a girlfriend. I think he's actually still with her now, 4 years down the line, so, you know, he's probably doing the same to her. It's not a nice situation to be in. However, my camera is going to die, so if I don't finish this bit, then I will add it in at the end. But yeah, so I did manage to escape. Best thing I ever did. Isn't easy for people to be like, just leave, because it's not. It isn't that simple to just leave. You don't know what they're going to be like. So if you can get yourself into an emergency accommodation or somewhere where you have staff members or just, you know, someone professional to help you to stay safe afterwards, then you can do it. You can do it anyway, but just make sure you're not alone. You need to tell people your situation. You need help. You may think that you can cope with it, but in the end, it will eat you alive. And sometimes people sadly do die because of it, because they're too afraid to speak out. And honestly, it's the best thing I ever did. Now I'm in a relationship, of like a good relationship. We have a son. We live like I live in a flat. It's just such an amazing like thing to be in. If I didn't leave, I don't know where I'd be now. But thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to help me out. I'll see you guys in my next video. I promise you it'll be a so much more happier one. See you guys later. Bye.